Hey everyone, I'm Big Mojo, and in today's video we'll be putting together our first mechanical keyboard. I personally have used mechanical keyboards off the shelf for about 6 or 7 years now, and after spending a lot of time on Reddit and looking at other people's builds, I have decided to take the plunge myself and build my first board. In today's video, I'll be showing you some of the key components I decided to use for my first board, show you the assembly of some of the components, and then we'll be finishing things off with a typing test so we can actually hear how everything sounds. Before I get started though, I do have one shameless favor I would like to ask. If you could either like this video or even subscribe to the channel, I would greatly appreciate it. I hope to keep making content like this going forward, and your support will definitely make that possible. First on the agenda, the keyboard. For my first build, I've decided to go with the Glorious PC Gaming Race GMMK Compact 60% keyboard. Now, the main reason I decided to go with the smaller keyboard is I love the look and feel of the 60%. It's sleek, it's elegant, and I like that it overall just doesn't take up a lot of desk space. So it's really nice for when I'm working or when I'm gaming. I have a lot of wiggle room to kind of put the keyboard where I want, turn it, orient it, so on and so forth. Second reason why I went with this board specifically, because there are other 60% boards out there, is the fact that the keyboard is what's known as hot swappable. Now what that means is the actual mechanical switches that make the mechanical keyboard, because this board is hot swappable, I can just pop the switch out and then put a new one in like a puzzle piece. So my plan is going forward, as I get more and more into mechanical keyboards, I want to test out different switches. I want to test out different lubricants for the switches. And so all I need to do is buy the set of switches, pop out my old ones, pop my new ones in, and away I go. Versus other boards, you might actually have to full on solder and desolder the switches, and eventually I'll get to that point, but not for my first board. Next on the agenda is the actual switches themselves. And for the switches, I have decided to go with the Glorious Panda Switches, also by Glorious PC Gaming Race. Main reason I chose these switches, I personally love tactile mechanical switches. My previous boards, I've always gone with Cherry MX Browns, so I wanted to stay in the tactile world. And as I was listening to different typing tests on YouTube, either with Teha Types or Up a Tree Zelda, one of their videos, they tested these switches and I absolutely loved the sound of them. And I knew instantly for my first board, that's what I was gonna go with. Prior to recording this, I have actually already taken the time to lube said switches. And if you're curious, I decided to go with the Crytox 205 Grade 0 grease. That's one of Teha Types' like go-to all-around lubes, so I decided to go with that for my first board. Last but not least is the keycaps. For my keycaps, I decided to go with the YMDK 125 keys, the gray beige variant. I got these bad boys on Amazon and they're actually relatively cheap for keycaps. I went with these keycaps specifically for a couple reasons. One, I like the simple color pattern of just the beige, the gray, and then the one red key that there is for escape. It's very simple, yet it's still very aesthetically pleasing. Another reason why I went with them is they actually were in stock. A lot of the ones that I really loved and was happy to open my wallet for, they were out of stock, or they were group buys that I wouldn't receive for another 13 to 14 months. So considering it's my first board, decided to keep things simple, find ones that I knew I liked and that worked well with the board and were aesthetically pleasing.